So we asked a question around the prevalence of early planning and the impact of making plans to address resistance. And here's actually some great news in the data that 83% of the respondents said that in fact they did make plans to address resistance. And then we asked the second question is, did it matter? What was the impact of planning to address resistance on meeting objectives? And there's the bars there between the yes, we did plan and no, we didn't. But at the net of it is over 50% of the study participants who said that they did in fact plan to address resistance, they were much more likely to meet or exceed their project objectives as a result of doing that. So here's one of the challenges that we have in today's world of uncertainty and the more adaptive, responsive mode that we have to go into from a change management perspective is, do we have all the time that we've had in the past to maybe be more planful about resistance mitigation and management? So I want to suggest to you that this is supporting data to plan for resistance, absolutely. But what are some of the actions that we could take if we knew a little bit more about different types of resistance? So some of the tactics that people are using to address resistance are listed here. There are 4 that we examined or that were the top survey responses: exceptional communications, active sponsor management of resistance, formal training of managers and supervisors to address resistance, and proactive identification of impacted groups and stakeholders. Now, all of these are squarely addressed in the Prosci 3-phase process, our methodology. And these still matter. So we're going to explore these 2 in a little bit more detail in just a few minutes in one of our other declaration pairings. But I want to suggest to you that the top tactics used to plan to address resistance, whether we have planned change or unplanned change, or emergent change or reactive change, we still need to think about how to address resistance management, and these are some of the top tactics. Now, when you responded to that poll that I asked you, what does resistance to change look like for your change? That is also a question was in our topical study. And of the hundreds of responses that came into that survey, we grouped them into these 8 categories, if you will. And there are some key words in each of these quadrants so that you can get an idea of what we were talking about to give it that particular label. So I want you right now to take a few seconds and look at these 8 squares and maybe pick the top 2 that you think are reflective of the type of resistance that you're going to encounter in the change that you're focused on right now. Some of those words have already come forward for you, but go ahead and pick 2 of them. Just looking at those categories, because the root cause might be different. Your response to these types will absolutely be different.